name's William Fielding. I'm chairman of Rochdale Artists, this group. I always loved art. I've been drawing especially since the age of about 4-year-old. I left school at 15, started with Rochdale College of Art for 2 years. I trained to become a textile designer. From then on I got an interview with the CPA in Manchester, started textile designing and finished up doing batiks for West Africa. I came to Rochdale Artists in 2008. From then on I retired, and then I've been here ever since. I love art. The inspiration I get is from everywhere, more or less, but I do tend to follow the oils, acrylics. It's where you go, like in Cornwall, it's a well-known place in this country. That's given me a lot of inspiration. I was there about three or 4 years ago, and yeah, it's been a marvellous journey so far.
My name's David. I'm a member of Rochdale Artists. I've been painting for 5 years now, and I've done various exhibitions, numerous exhibitions. I've been to many art galleries. In all, I have a tendency to do a very strong abstract. My life appears to be now very fulfilled with what I've done for many years. I feel someone who needs to be arty, and my life is very fulfilled these days. And one day, my outlook and my skill and my trajectory in art, one day, will become very fulfilled with what I know, what I think and what I feel.
My name's Jeff Harrop, and I studied art at Rochdale Art College, but not this sort of art that you're looking at today. I studied sign writing and that sort of thing. I studied that and worked at it until I was about 21. And I'm also one of the oldest members of Taking Art into the Community, which is a thing started by a man called John Wyman, who was man of the year in Rochdale for a while. And also he got the MBE just before, sadly he passed away. And as for what I get from art, I get far more back than what I give, in a way. The work at the hospice, really sort of pushes you at times to think up something new, but you seem to get along. Everything seems to run along quite fine, and don't have no trouble. Personal well-being, yes, I think I do get satisfaction from it, but like I said, I get far more back from it as well.
My name is Shahida Dolan. For me, art was not a vocation, but it was a passion that I had at a very early age. Always wanted to paint. My turning point was I had an injury which really made me think and reflect, what did I really want to achieve in my life? And one of the things I really wanted to achieve was art and writing and doing my poetry. So I took up art quite seriously, even though I'd been painting as a child and exploring the work. I wanted to take it seriously, so I started from basics. I took a foundation course, and then I evolved from there, and I really enjoyed it. I loved every aspect of it, from photography to all sorts of mediums. And I love painting. I like painting in all different various forms in different mediums, such as charcoal, pencil. I love acrylics, I love oils. I love watercolour because watercolour doesn't behave. It has a mind of its own, and that's the most exciting part of it. You put something on paper, and wow, it just, it's amazing what you can do with it. Art is a form which actually unites everyone, really, because it hasn't got a particular akin to anybody. It's not aligned to a race or, anybody can take up art really in the community, and it joins us together, and because we're creative people, or if you like, through doing art you become quite aware of yourself and your background, and I think art actually brings it to the fore.
My name is Shahbaz Hussain, and I was born in Rochdale. I went to school here, I went to college here. I did all my training here as far as academics is concerned. Regarding my art form, I'm a tabla player, and the tabla is North Indian drums, very popular drums. And the interest which appealed to me with these drums was, I when I was around 4 or 5 years old, I used to watch, Asian programs on BBC or Channel 4, and that really got me interested in the two drums and the way they sounded. By seeing someone play just with their hands and creating such a rich sound, a tone from these drums was really, really appealing for me. Eventually, my father, Mumtaz Hussain, saw an interest in me that I was very, very pulled towards the tabla in particular. He bought me my very first small tabla set, and I was very fortunate enough to find a very prominent person in Rochdale by the name of Muhammad Sarwar, who runs the MAMC in Rochdale here. And my initial training was from Muhammad Sarwar. Eventually, I got the chance to learn from really maybe I can say the greatest maestros of tabla playing from the subcontinent. That really gave me a chance to flourish and really learn this art. Even though I was in my early teens, I was around 13 or 14, I didn't really have a full understanding of what was required in terms of being a professional musician, a working musician who was traveling. And I always wanted to play in the big halls, but I didn't really know what it took for me to get there. My father really, really supported me, my mother, my family, and my friends, the friends I had around me at that time were really, really supportive and prompted me and made me practice, so you have to practice. Through playing the tabla, I got the chance to meet a whole host of different people. People from my own culture, the Pakistani culture, and then also people from outside my own community. So I got to perform with people from India, people from the UK where I live, where I was born, from English Western musicians, from African musicians to Arabic musicians. And I really got this sense of a communal bonding in between the musicians I worked with. And I think music is one thing where it's one platform where you really get to connect not only with the person you're working with, be it from the same community as you or not, but also connect with the wider perspective in terms of connecting with yourself, connect with the people around me, the environment around me, the nature around me, and then connect with spirituality, which I'm quite fond of, connecting with the Almighty God there, and trying to understand what I am, what Shahbaz Hussain is, what can he give to the community or to the wider world as a musician. I think musicians have a great chance to really contribute to society.
To just say a few words about my journey through the arts. This has actually had a profound experience on me. I knew I'd travelled to a lot of places, I knew I'd met a lot of people, I knew that I could mix with anyone, whoever, wherever, in all the four corners of the world, and become involved with some of them as well, helping in all sorts of voluntary ways. But it wasn't until I put pen to paper, just jotting down a few notes, that I realised that I've actually been practising multicultural experiences all my life without even knowing, quite unwittingly. I had two uncles who sang with Rochdale Male Voice Choir, and an auntie who was a semi-professional jazz singer, and she also sang the blues. As a girl, I went to ballet and tap lessons, longing to become a dancing ballerina in a fluffy tutu. Also, I used to attend lots and lots of pantomimes and be on their shows. It's an old English tradition. It didn't really matter that all these pantomimes were usually to do with church or chapel involvement, because whatever the faith or creed, I used to join so that I could just be in their pantomime each year at Christmas. And from my Catholic upbringing in early days, I then attended a Church of England junior school and took part in school choir, singing hymns to the Lord. And as a teenager, I studied and performed at my local dance academy during my formative years and into adulthood, doing Latin American, ballroom, encompassing all sorts of dance, which I've always enjoyed through my life. When my sons were older, teenage boys, I encouraged them to take part in sport, music and cultural activities, and all went for private tuition to play the piano. During my adult years, I've taken part in local amateur theatre productions. I'm a member of Touchstone's creative writing group and a local performing poetry group. I attend weekly art classes and, whenever possible, visit galleries and cultural venues in up and down the UK. I worked at Mind for 4 years teaching relaxation techniques and helping people with art and craft workshops, people with mental health problems. Very, very rewarding. And under the huge umbrella of the arts, during my lifetime, it has brought joy and happiness, and my understanding and belief to embrace difference and encompass everyone into my life.
I'm Herbie Mackenzie from Rochdale and District 9. I'm the Community Engagement Team Manager. But in my other role, I'm also an ordained minister and as pastor of a church in Cheetham Hill, Manchester. Well, I was born and brought up in Caribbean, in Jamaica, and really hard then for me was just listening to music as a young child, as a young person growing up, and listening to the music of the 1960s, early 70s, and I was very much into reggae at the time. Some of the great musicians around that time. So really, that's a great influence on my life. But also, the other great influence was kind of gospel music from the age 16 onwards, going to church, listening to some of those great songs, how they impact my life. And I really enjoyed songs like From the Grace Thrillers, some of the great songs, writers of today, like Hezekiah Walker. I listened to those, a lot of artists I can't even remember. Really, Paul Morton, all those guys. Great songwriters. For me, my culture is around looking at some of the artistic symbols. It's about my kind of a mode of dress. Is around not just music, but it's around some of the things that we have. For example, take in the Caribbean, where I was brought up, you still have a lot of wood carvings, or shells and things like that people used to make. Use as part of decorative, artistic things that you can buy or use. So I think that's quite important, really. Just look at the kind of stuff that produced as part of your culture and how that has influenced your own thinking and growth, really, and your own relationship to others as well, in terms of having conversations, appreciating your own heart, but appreciating the heart from different cultures as well. I went to college in Birmingham, and I did go to sort of art class, We're very good at drawing, never ever good at drawing, but I like the art. I like British art, going back like the 17th and 18th centuries, you know, so the great paintings, and then as I grew up, started appreciating art from different cultures, like Italian and so on. Today, I visit other countries, and one of the things I'm really fascinated about is when I go to some of these circle buildings and look at the amazing art in those buildings. Like, for example, I go to Italy. We've been to Spain. You know, today I appreciate like African art as well. So there's a whole range of things out there that has influenced me and really make me more appreciative of my own cultural art form.
My name is Qari Muhammad Samandar Khan, and I'm very local. I'm from Rochdale. After many years working in the factories, then I changed my career. I become a religious teacher, teaching Quran and teaching Urdu language. I spent most of time in the various fields. I spent most of my time learning Islamic calligraphy and recitation of Holy Quran. This is special art. And also reciting the Holy Naat, the praise of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is called Naat. And that is in various languages. You can find various hundreds of poets, including Dr. Muhammad Iqbal, Ghalib, Daag Delvi, Mir Taqi Mir, Amir Minai, and so many others. Try to work into the calligraphy as well and the art, Islamic art, which is my inspiration, my dedication to it. Islamic art has so many beauties actually, and it does attract to anyone of whoever sees it. But most of art, you can find the calligraphy and different shapes of the calligraphy, and most of it is from Quranic verses, actually in the shape of different calligraphy scriptures. The Sufi poetry and the music, and sometimes without music, it touches our hearts and soul and gives kind of meditation, you know, the connectivity with your Lord, with your Prophet, and with the general human beings. It gives affection and love, and it's actually message to the human being, love, peace and harmony. This is the message actually. My own feelings are, when I recite Holy Quran, when I recite Holy Naat, and when I enjoy the calligraphy and so many other arts, it makes you a better person. Physically, mentally, you feel and you prepare yourself to show others actually what this art of recitation of Holy Quran, Holy Naat, calligraphy, you have to show others, and how much it has impact on others. What I have learned through my life, I feel how to share all the arts and the values to benefit wider community. And I think we should share this very important, very rich cultural values and art values from East and West. If we get together and share this, all your experience and achievement with others.
about 10 years piano lessons. Took the exams and the external exams at Trinity College of Music London, and I got music at O level at GCE, and I've done quite a lot of playing since then.
I heard you used to play piano at a cafe in Rochdale.
Yeah,
Do you have any
Russell.
stories about when you played piano in the
Yeah, there's a little girl called Poppy who used to come in with her grandmother and asked her to play Chattanooga Choo Choo. I played that with a boogie beat.
Yeah. Can you give Phil some of his
Quite a few people have their favourite tune. I made quite a few friends there. Well, my favourite pianist is Lionel Lang, the Chinese classical pianist. I think his expression and his technique is fantastic. But I wouldn't say he's influenced me because I can't play anything like he can. And I felt down. It helped me to bring the spirits up, and I think it brings a lot of enjoyment to people.